produced for Snoop, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, and Eminem. The checkered board used in chess is often used to symbolize duality by the brotherhood. World rulers are the most imitated people on earth. What the rulers do, what the kings and queens of the earth do, their subjects do also, often because of their blind allegiance and unquenchable desire to be like their rulers, and other times because the rulers have trained them to copy their ways and actions. The chess pieces are what you move on a chessboard when playing a game of chess. There are 6 different types of chess pieces. Each side starts with 16 pieces, 8 pawns, 2 bishops, 2 knights, 2 rooks, 1 queen, and 1 king. We've talked many times about the Brotherhood's obsession with duality and the Hermetic inversion, or the idea of switching natural roles. In Luciferianism, as opposed to other definitions of duality, the goal is to upset God's apple cart, in fact to overturn it. In other words, the turning of white into black, black into white, death into life, God into the devil, and the devil into God. Quote unquote. So quite naturally, this hip-hop laced promo should begin with the end. Enter Eminem, aka the rap god, as Dre moves the king first. Dre portrays the entity that is in control of the board, aka the king of the board, which is in this case Lucifer. Then we see the light shine upon the bishop. Like Tupac before him, M is an illuminated high priest in their chess game. He uses a technology first made famous in the movie Minority Report, a dystopian film starring Tom Cruise. The present-day Eminem wears black, while the Slim Shady of the past wears white, standing across from him, also rearranging lyrics. Hermeticism and duality personified, the blue and the red, the old and the young, the real versus the fake. He's using virtual reality, simulated reality, to battle with a faux, younger version of himself. They could have used old clips of his old face, but chose not to. As the song Rap God plays, where he boasts of having conquered rap and having the audacity to want to slap box with God. Therefore, he battles his only worthy opponent all alone in his scientific lab/studio. The blue and red writing, the black and white shirts, both contrasts symbolize good and evil being equal. A belief of the brotherhood. JJ Fad was a girl rap group from the LA area. Their big hit song was Supersonic. M takes from the famous cadence rap by Baby D of the group and makes it better, quote unquote, by filling in her nonsense words with real words and syllables. Female simplicity to male complexity, more duality. Known for rarely coming out of the lab, M gets excited after receiving the call to join his fellow chess pieces and heads west on a plane. As M's plane flies over the LA area, we pan down into the streets below to see Snoop's ragtop from an aerial view. This air symbolism is key, the Ephesians 2:2 power of the air being brought down to earth. Hence the bird's eye view as the rap god, aka Spirit, flies over LA to arrive at the superb owl. Snoop's segment features a line of lowriders hitting switches, all old schools, like the performers, except for Kendrick. Snoop is in a black car in the middle of the 5 lowriders. The 5 major pieces in chess are king, bishop, rook, knight, and queen. Snoop is swerving and perving and enjoying the attention he's getting in a very hard Chevy, I might add. But in keeping with the theme that has been running throughout this ad, he looks over at his phone, having received the call to join the rest of the chess pieces. However, one of his admirers at the bus stop actually gets the same call on her phone, and we move to Mary J. Blige's segment of the promo. And Mary is receiving the royal treatment. Her hair is being styled, her makeup is being made up, and she's also donning a blonde hairstyle, which is a form of duality in and of itself. One stylist has on black, the other stylist has on white, and Mary steps out of an oval-shaped orifice. This is all to signify that she represents the queen, even the red carpet entering into the orifice. The symbolism of the womb is often associated with the Queen Mother Goddess, and Mary is no exception to the rule. Just like Beyonce and Aretha Franklin, way before modern day stars. Certain singers are given the privilege, quote unquote, to be seen as the queen or the representative of the Queen Mother Goddess or the whore of Babylon on earth. The illumination that is seen in many of the scenes, and even the brick wall behind her, and the crown in the upper right hand corner, all lend to this symbolism and add to the suggestion that she represents the womb queen. She gets her call, and she's also pleased that she's been invited to perform at the halftime of the Superb Owl, the Super Bowl, as again her black and white donned stylists fix her up, get her ready, and she hops in her ride, very expensive Bugatti, and she takes off. Then we pan out and we see again the chessboard city, or the city laid atop the chessboard, and we see Dr. Dre dropping down the queen. This is to symbolize again this whole idea of the Queen Mother Goddess and Mary's representation of that. Then we go to Kendrick Lamar's scene. He's seen writing rhymes, as he's known as quite a barbarian and a lyricist. He's contemplating, thinking about his rhymes. The windows are open behind him as to let in the wind or the air. The air is stirring up or inspiring his lyrics. He throws his lyrics to the wind or to the air. We're assuming to discard them, they weren't good enough, but no, there's a whirlwind, it appears, that's carrying his lyrics up as he gets the call, looking at his phone as you see now. He checks it out. His lyrics are still being held up in the air, swirling. He goes back to writing lyrics. Now we see a smoke or a mist over the rhymes he's writing. This is, I believe, symbolic of the inspiration of the Prince of the Power of the Air. And here we see his rhymes being carried up and through the air by the power of the air. And then the scene begins to transition from Kendrick's segment as we see up into the clouds now, where the rhymes have gone to or come from, and now we see through those clouds and we see the emergence of a beach, a shore. And as the tide subsides and ebbs and flows, we see beneath it piano keys, the keys that open up gateways or doorways. Could this be a hint to the marine spirits, perhaps giving inspiration to the good doctor as he walks across the beach? And in the background we see LA, which looks very distant. And of course we're introduced to Dr. Dre, or to what looks to be a computer enhanced version of Dr. Dre, as ironically his background music is still Dre, but it doesn't look like it's still Dre to me. The scene goes back to Snoop and the lowrider. We find that it's now nighttime. The black car riding in the night. The back of the car creating sparks. The license plate does say halftime. And those sparks will be used to represent something, as you see the sparks flying. And then we pan back out to the checkered board, or the chess board, with the city of LA atop it being showered by these lightning sparks, or these sparks that represent lightning falling from heaven. And here we see Dr. Dre again making the final move on the board, representing the controller of this board. We know Dr. Dre does control the mixing board, but here he's using an analogy, controlling the chess board as the devil amidst these light sparks, or these sparks of light. And this is representing the force from the power of the air coming down upon the city of LA that night, on that fateful night where they will perform the Super Bowl halftime show. So what they're telling us is that symbolically, at the very least, spiritually, at the worst, their idea is to bring down the prince of the power of the air. Note the cross section is never as a chance missed to deride Christ. And here they arrive together, Snoop and Dre, in the black vehicle that carries them to their destination. I know Snoop believes he's looking pimped out, but it's just a tad bit sussy boy, as pimps were apt to do. And here is Kendrick Lamar getting off his beach cruiser, joining the rest of the crew, Mary J joining the rest of the crew. But if you notice, there's this light that's present, even in this shot, and in the shot with Snoop and Dre getting out the car. This is, again, I believe, to symbolize what it is that we've been talking about this entire time. That the whole idea is to, again, to manifest the spirits of the Prince of the Power of the Air during this halftime show. Doing so through vibration, through sigil magic, but mostly through the opening of portals. Using keys. Keys are used to open doors. A portal is another name for a door. Thank you for listening, and we'll see what they have up when it's time for the show. These Luciferian astrotheists behind the industry love to speak through astrology and other forms of brotherhood. Writers await the Aquarian age, which is the time that they see Lucifer as taking his reign as the king and the queen of the chessboard game. Symbolized in this halftime show for Super Bowl 56, 5 and 6 is 11. 11 is their favorite number to symbolize duality and hermeticism, the double ones. 1 for you, and the other one represents the spirit that inspires you, giving you equality with God, making you equal to a God. 1 and 1, 11, L even.